In this video, we are going to set up our database. And if you are not familiar with MongoDB, it is a NoSQL database. So it is not a relational database like MySQL or PostGRS or anything like where you have tables and columns. Instead, we have documents. It's actually a document database, which is a certain type of NoSQL database, and it is very similar to JSON syntax or JavaScript objects. So it pairs really well with JavaScript or Node applications. So now the option to install MongoDB is locally or in the cloud. If you want to install Mongo in the cloud, then you have to use MongoDB Atlas because it is hosted on the cloud. We are using a cloud database in our application for few reasons. Firstly, it is easier to manage if the application is hosted on cloud because we don't have to go through an installation process and dealing with the local database issues. Secondly, this is a course, so some of you might using Windows, some might Mac or some Linux, so it would be different on all the systems. Thirdly, we are gonna be deploying this application on Heroku, which is a platform as a service. So you can't install a local instance of Mongo when you are using Heroku. You would have to use something like DigitalOcean or something like that. If you wanted to actually install Mongo on the server, so you have a cloud database that we can just connect to our application no matter where it is hosted, locally or on Heroku or anywhere else for that matter. All right. So those are the reasons that we are using Atlas in our application. However, if you want to install it locally and use it, then you can go ahead with this approach as well because the code will remain the same in both the cases. You just have a local connection string instead of a remote one. This is the minor change which you have to make if you are using a local MongoDB instance rather than the hosted one. All right. So now what you have to do is sign up on this cloud.mongodb.com. As if you want to create an account, then you can click on the register button. Else, like I have already created my account, so I can simply log in here. After entering the login, you must enter your password. After login, now the home screen will appear, which will show you the number of clusters which you have created and different options which you can explore. Like this is the name of the cluster which I have already created just to save our time. But if you are using it for the first time, then you can click on build a new cluster button. It will show you different options to create the new cluster, like regions. Yeah, like currently I'm in India, so I must choose Mumbai as a reason because it is more closer to me, so the latency would be very less and performance would be very high in this case. And it is a free account, so I cannot create more clusters because it is restricted to one only in free case. So I am clicking on the cancel button. So now our cluster is created. Now we need to move to the security tab. Here we are going to add new user. Remember one thing, it is not the same user that you logged in with uh, on MongoDB website. You need to add a specific user here. Like I am going to enter user with name Vibu123 and password must be the same. You can change the password as per your convenience. These are different privileges which you can give to the new user which you are going to create. Like you can make them as a admin who can perform any operation on it. Secondly, read and write to any database. This is the default action which a user might get after the creation of account. Third is only read any database. You can give the user as only read privilege. Otherwise, you can use custom roles as well. I am going to keep it simple. So adding the new user. Look here, a row is created with the new user details. So after the creation of a user, it's time to whitelisting the IP address. You can do this by clicking on the add IP address button. Here it gives you two different options. One, you can add your current IP address. Like if I click on it, it will pick my current IP address and whitelist it. Secondly, if I want to allow it through all other networks, then I click here. It will set the default IP address, and by clicking confirm, I'm going to save it. This is very important to whitelist the IP address. As you all know that application is hosted on the cloud, so security is a major concern here, which we need to take care of. As just to explain you this topic, I have simply said simply exposed my IP address, but you must keep it to your individual IP address. I think now all set for our application. This is the home page. Like I already told, this is the home page where you can see all the clusters which you have created. Now, in the next video, we are going to connect our this cluster into our application. By clicking on this connect button, it simply shows the one option where we can connect this cluster with our application. This is the connection string which we can use in our code to use this database which is hosted on the cloud. So I hope you all know that how much easy this approach is, because it is hassle free. You don't need to install any software on your machine. It is cloud hosted. You can use it on any machine. So these are different benefits of MongoDB. In the next video, we are going to use this connection string in our node application to send some data or to get data back from there. Thank you for watching this video.